Welcome to iFIBER 1 News. I'm Roger Adelson with your Super Bowl edition. We will review some of the top Seahawks and Super Bowl stories for this week and a few of your favorites. And we have the latest weather forecast for the Columbia Basin from the iFIBER 1 Weather Center.
And here in the weather department, we're looking at a very tranquil weather pattern. Lots of sun finally coming back, but it's just going to be cold.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News. Your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
By now, everyone knows the Seattle Seahawks are making their second Super Bowl appearance on the Sunday to face off the Denver Broncos. It is hard to think about the Seahawks in Ephrata without thinking about the superfan working at the post office. Reporter Jeff Chu took time to interview Margie Wick about why she loves the Hawks.
It's a special season for Grant County's Seattle Seahawks superfan Margie Wick. The Seahawks are headed to the Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos this Sunday after recently winning the National Football Conference Championship against the San Francisco 49ers. Margie and her husband Phil witnessed that game and every Seahawks game over the past 13 seasons. You can find Margie's glowing Seahawks green and blue hairdo and her wall of memorabilia behind the customer counter at Ephrata's post office. She has worked more than 10 years in the Ephrata post office, with previous stints in Soap Lake and Moses Lake. Margie is known in Seahawks fandom as Sprinkler, a rainbird she wears on her head. It is a reference to a Miami Dolphins game in which the field sprinkler system went off during a Seahawks drive. Margie said she will be a Seahawks superfan for the rest of her life.
I've been a diehard since the first day. I was actually a Raiders fan before we had a team, so I've been watching football since I was about 5. And when we got the Seahawks, I've just been diehard. Once my kids got old enough to where they could be on their own, then I finally got season tickets. It's a vacation for me. I don't go anywhere else. We do football all year, really.
Margie has Seahawks season tickets with her husband Phil, and together they have fun getting into colorful character for the games. That includes face paint they and other Seahawks fans put on each other during the pregame tailgate parties. She says it's like going home to family each season because Margie shares such a close bond with Seattle fans. The Seahawks will see their second Super Bowl game in the team's history. Margie said she had a strong feeling at the beginning of the season that the team would go all the way. She believes the team's success can largely be pinned on the leadership of quarterback Russell Wilson.
I knew at the beginning of the year, just from being around Russell last year, and it's like I knew we were going to go to the Super Bowl this year. I did the first time in 2005. I knew we were going to go to the Super Bowl. So everybody says, "Oh, I hope you're right. I hope you're right."
Margie said she and Phil will watch the Super Bowl game from their Seahawks green and blue home. She said tickets to the game this Sunday at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey were just too far out of reach.
Unfortunately, we didn't get drawn in the lottery, and Margie has a new motor in her Jeep, so she can't afford to go. I know our tickets, had we gotten drawn, they were around about $800 a piece.
She's been on the field with other fans, meeting players and their family members. Here's a selfie Margie took of her with star Seahawks cornerback Richard Sherman's mother, Beverly. Ephrata Postmaster Jeff Miller is 100% behind Margie's love of the Seahawks.
It's awesome. The community's around her. Everyone knows her as a Seahawks fan. It's great.
I'm Jeff Chu for iFIBER 1 News.
In Moses Lake, a student at Frontier Middle School received a special gift, one that shows how a Seattle Seahawk can inspire others.
We have this student at Chief Mo, who's not only an excellent student, hearing impaired, but he is fierce on the football field. So we found out that we have our own Derek Coleman here in the building. So Victor.
Inspired by Derek Coleman's commercial with Duracell, a group of teachers at Chief Moses Middle School raised money to buy a number 40 jersey for Victor Mendoza, a hearing-impaired student who currently plays football as a wide receiver.
I think that Victor, when he initially came to Chief Mo, he was very, he was embarrassed by his hearing disability, and he often would put his hands over his head and not want other kids to see his hearing aids, and wouldn't wear them. And so about 3 weeks ago, I showed him the Derek Coleman commercial, and he was very inspired, and he has no, he wears those hearing aids with pride now.
They were doing a fundraiser, and before I knew it, the goal of the money that was needed was met right away, and they did order it online, and it was a good surprise for him.
For Victor, I hope that he can embrace his disability and not see it as a setback. There's no excuses, as Derek Coleman would say, and yeah, you keep going, no matter what anybody tells you.
We asked the faculty and Mendoza what they had to say about the upcoming Super Bowl game.
I just wish you Seahawks luck. My parents are big time fans, and I'd love to see them watch them win the Super Bowl. It's their ultimate dream and part of mine too.
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
For iFIBER 1 News, this is Vivian Huang.
Thank you, Vivian.